pick up that old fossil.
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
That's no moon.
We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you?
Welcome to the Star Wars Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vadebonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
Kenton, we have another awesome episode of The Mandalorian to talk about, and I think this is a lot better episode than last week. Of course,
I love them both. I love
said,
them all.
I was on the record as saying I didn't like last week's episode very much. I was a little done with the bird nest situation, but we got through it, and...
we got through it. It was a wonderful episode with a wonderful scene. I loved every minute of it.
All right, well, we'll see. But
you sort of came around by the end of last
I guess
podcast.
so. I guess I did. But even kind of watching the recap before this one, I was like, oh, God, the bird's nest. Come on. I just feel like it's a Flintstones thing.
Star Wars is a mashup of all media, including the Flintstones.
That is a fair comment.
And that is why Mandalorian rides a jalopy with bare feet that he stops and has a bone in his hair. When he takes his mask off.
So anyway, let's get right into this
Let's
episode. We start with we're starting on Nevarro, where we have a high. What is he called again? A high. Damn it, they say it.
You are the
High Chancellor, something like that. They'll say it at some point. We'll see it.
You're the high priestess of all.
Greef Karga is doing some planning. He's doing some city planning with his committee on something. They've got a nice little holo map here.
Yeah.
So we're going to be moving a lot of cargo in and out of here. So he's like, he really loves his job. Hey, you can tell he just loves being in charge of like this city.
And talk about we know that he's had a complete turnaround in terms of his character. But later in the episode, there's some question about his character when the Mandalorian has to sell the other Mandalorians on teaming up. So I thought it's a good reminder that he did not, like, we're used to him. We're used to Creed being like this.
Yeah.
And but to people who aren't aware, they might think that he's still the master of the bounty hunters.
Right. And I think they remind him of that in this episode a few times. Like because this one, and you called it. You absolutely called it. It's the pirates. It's absolutely the pirates. They show up. They and look, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this, but this guy is this protocol droid.
Yeah.
Is a old concept art of 3PO, isn't it?
Yes, from Ralph McQuarrie. Yeah. I love the Ralph McQuarrie concept.
There's a couple of them in this.
Yeah.
Because there was another one that I saw in another scene somewhere that was silver, but it was also similar to another concept drawing that I'd seen. Maybe this guy too. Maybe the R unit there, whatever that is, R4 or whatever it is. He's got kind of a tall head. But we have the Swamp Thing shows up here. We have the Pirate King. I don't know his name.
Can we pause here to say how wrong I was about what well, later on we'll talk about that. But I thought this was going to be the main bad guy in Skeleton Crew. And it does not appear to be going in that direction.
No, and I didn't really know what Skeleton Crew was, and I thought that felt plausible, but it was not. It was not intended to be. Obviously, just for this show.
Obviously not.
Yeah, but I gotta say he did kind of grow on me. I like the effect, literally, because he's Moss.
He's a Moss Jabba.
Kind of, yeah. It did kind of remind me of that. Sorry. Yeah, so then basically the pirates show up and they are just going to take over the town. They're going to roll in, drink and carouse and have their way with the women, I assume.
And they're going to shoot at wildlife. They're a bunch of assholes, these pirates.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I'm trying to think of another movie where we've seen this kind of stuff happen. I don't know. I'm blanking on right now. It's like when the motorcycle gang rolls in and takes over the town, kind of like in those old movies. With Marlon Brando.
And actually, this could have easily been the Magnificent Seven, where you have Mandalorians inside the city as the attack comes. Yeah. But this was a little different than that. This was like, no, we need to get there.
I feel like there's got to be like a Akira Kurosawa movie that has this premise. It does feel very much like that kind of a thing,
right?
Where it's just like brigands come in and take over a town, and the samurai have to come and help them get rid of them. But so basically, he has this exchange with the pirate king here. It does not give in. Basically, they want to be bought off, and they want to be paid off to leave him alone. You're not going to do this, so they evacuate the town.
There's not too many townsfolk left, I have to say. Like the bombardment is
they basically just kind of start shooting randomly into the town, and people are running away, and you have to imagine quite a few people died in that situation. Then we come up. This is so cool.
This scene, it is so cool.
I was like, it's a rebel base. It's a rebel base. So there's Y-wing.
Yeah, Y-wing fighter and and there's rock music play. I like that too. The Star Wars rock music in the background.
A little bit of a.
We've got Blue Squadron. We've got Orange Squadrons.
They're playing pool. They're playing Star Wars pool. They're
you see-
drinking.
did
They're
you see
smoking.
Did you see some of the special guests sitting at the end of the bar? Did you notice?
I did not notice.
Okay,
no.
wait till we get there.
Oh,
Just
okay.
keep it going. Keep it going.
Okay.
We're gonna get. There's one shot where you need to freeze frame it
All right.
because it's a blink and you miss it.
Damn it.
Type of scenario. And we've got a snaggletooth server at the bar,
Yeah.
which I didn't recognize the first time I watched this. We have got Kim's Convenience sitting at the end of
Yeah.
the bar. Okay, and we're gonna cut to another view in just a second.
I'm so thrilled to see him. I'm
Yeah.
like he's so good, and just I love having a little bit of Canadian
There,
people.
right there.
You're building the suspense.
The buffering here is
The buffering is killing me. I hope it lasts.
Oh.
Come on, what is going on here? Oh God, I got kicked out of
Dan
it.
is using our college
It
Wi-Fi.
did not like me doing that. It did not.
If you enjoy the internet, you will not enjoy the college Wi-Fi. There, yes. You almost had it.
Well, again, pause
Right
it.
there. On the right is Dave Filoni. Right?
There's the hat.
On the left, we have Deborah Chow.
Okay.
See her facing the
Yes,
camera. And then
that's Rick Fumiata.
That's
whatever his name is,
Rick.
Yeah.
So we've got our little directors roundtable happening at the end of
Who's
the
this
bar.
head that we can't see? Is that somebody or no?
I don't know.
I can't see him in that shot.
Maybe it's the director of the episode.
I like how he asks to use their holo thing. Like he can't. It's like, can I use your phone?
Yeah, it is. And it's like you
awesome.
probably don't want people to use it.
yeah. So
Can I just make a quick phone call?
so there you
Long
go.
distance. Yeah.
And so I was surprised. I figured that he was going to message Mando directly. Maybe Greef Karga doesn't have a direct line to Mando, but he reached out to the Republic. Now, I guess it makes sense because he did mention he basically threatened the pirate with that. Hey, he said, I'm going to call in the New Republic. They know we're here and they'll protect us, even though they're not officially part of the New Republic. That becomes an issue later on. So he has a holo message. Kim's Convenience has to figure out what's going on. And we have these guys. Now, is this
is
the same alien that is the guy from Rebels?
Yes.
Who is also
Zeb.
but the alien is a concept art of what Chewbacca would have been.
Right.
It comes from early concept art. So, and he's also got a British accent, the same as Zeb. So,
It is Zeb in the credits.
It's Zeb. It's Zeb?
Yes.
Holy shit.
It is actually Zeb, and the voice is the voice of Zeb.
Oh my God.
From Rebels.
Okay, I did not realize that. I did not realize that Zeb would still be alive.
Zeb is up and at 'em. That is Zeb. That's one of our. Oh no, I shouldn't say it's our first Rebels live action because we had Chopper in Rogue One.
Yeah.
We
had
had
Ahsoka Tano is in Rebels too.
Oh, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan.
Yeah, so we've had a few. But I didn't realize that was Zeb. That's interesting.
I know that is actually a live action Rebels character.
Well, I mean, he is
How about
CGI. Let's say he's not actually live
but they
action.
made him look great.
Oh yeah, they did. They did.
That is a perfect version of it.
Yeah. So here we are on Coruscant, and I was really excited to see this because this ties in with the 2 episodes ago when we have our friend who's working in the cubicles here, or wherever he's got to be in this office somewhere. We don't see him, but we see the other person, right? We see this sneaky cat. Oh yeah, he was arrested, wasn't he? He was arrested for our doctor guy was arrested for trying to experiment. They caught
he had
him.
his brain
fried. Yes.
Yeah, like so we haven't. I thought we were gonna see him laying in a hospital bed somewhere totally zonked out of his mind, like Norman Bates at the end of Psycho.
Yeah,
kind of just sitting there like. And boy, is there a character more irritating than this double agent?
Oh, not much, but I have to say I just loved it when
Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows showed up here. That was like brilliant. I said, "Ooh, it's a lady."
And by the way, every comedian in town must be calling up Jon Favreau, going like, "I like what you did with all these other comedians in there." And by the way, Ted Lasso himself was the stormtrooper in season 1
I knew that.
of The Mandalorian. Remember, he's like mean to Baby Grogu. They go
when they have him and they're waiting for them to be called in. Yeah, I remember that.
Right. So I mean, this is there's.
How you liking Ted Lasso?
I have not watched a single episode.
Damn it. Thought you were watching it.
No. I found lots of other stuff to watch first on Apple TV.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Kim's
another
Convenience,
comedian, yes.
yeah. So Kim's Convenience comes and meets with Tim Meadows to ask for permission to go protect Nevarro. And now it's funny because he's working with all these looks like these same ration cubes or whatever it is that what's his name was cataloging or what
whatever's happening.
He's so frustrated by whatever's going on. He does not like the situation. So then what's his name comes down to speak to him.
Yeah.
And they have a conversation about it. But then, our double agent comes in and basically spoils it by saying...
Well, Tim Meadows shuts off, doesn't even give
Oh, yeah,
a
he doesn't
crap.
even... Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Shuts it all. Yeah, uh-huh. Oh, this sounds bad.
Yeah.
Cut. It's like playing back your phone messages and going like, nah, delete. after about
Yeah,
3
it's like
seconds.
that episode of The Office he was in when he was doing the interview.
Exactly.
Anyway, but yeah, he shuts it off. He doesn't have, but he does seem to be coming around. He's like, okay, well, I guess I could probably spare something. But then what's her name comes in and says, oh, they're not actually a member of the New Republic, so sorry, we can't help them.
Oh, she's so frustrating. You want nothing but the worst for this character.
I'm going to the commissary. Can I get you anything? Yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah, so she uses flattery and behind the scenes shenanigans to get. But I also like that Kim's Convenience. By the way, I wish I knew his real name.
Paul Sun Young Kim or something.
No, but what's his character name?
It's Carson. I remember. They'll say it. They'll say in the subtitle. It's Carson something. I made a point of looking, and I can't remember.
What I like is he's the first character to see through the veneer of the potential double agent. I don't know if she's a double
he knows
agent
something's up with her.
Yeah. He's the first one, and he, basically she says, "I was liberated." Like that's, she's full of excuses. And she's always throwing a smoke screen out.
He's way far down in the cast list. Paul Sun Hyung Lee is his name.
What the name of the character?
The name of the character is.
I should know. I also forget the name of this terrible double agent character.
Oh, Captain Carson. Damn it! What does it say?
Is it the classic where they cut off the last?
It does, yes, and I had to click through.
Of course.
So now I can't see who it is. Anyway, this is riveting to listen to, I'm sure. Let's just move on.
Let's just we call the actors by their actual names, and I also make an exception to call Carl Weathers Creed.
Apollo Creed, yes.
Yeah. He's Creed, let's face it.
Yeah, so basically this whole exchange results in him getting nothing out of it, right? But he knows something's up, so I feel we're going to come back to it. We're not going to come back to Tim Meadows, but we do get a hint, and then we get another hint later on that the villain in this is actually Moff Gideon again. Moff Gideon, we find out, has escaped, I guess. But that comes later on.
Is he? Well, we'll get to that.
I think that she is working for him, but we'll see. Okay, so now we come back to Greef Karga and his crew, or his townsfolk. They're all out. They're wandering the desert, looking for a place to stop, and I guess just waiting for them to come back.
I have to point out there aren't many of them.
No, there's like maybe 30 or 40. I don't know.
We do find out later that some folks stayed back. But so he's taken them to the cave. I thought this was a bad idea. I thought something was going to come out of the cave.
Yeah, I mean, I was not sure where this was going, but they're like, okay, we're going to sit here. I don't remember what happens in the scene. Is there anything important that happens here?
Well, he needs so he's looking back at the town, and this is what's left of the townspeople. So, and they're all worried, and he tells them that don't worry, we're going to be getting some help.
Okay, so yeah, he's just kind of reassuring them.
Yeah.
Just hang tight here. Help is on the way. He doesn't know, though. He doesn't even know that his message was received. Doesn't know who's coming. Again, I'm surprised that he doesn't have a way to call Mando, because you'd think that he would try to reach out somehow to him. Like, how does it work in Star Wars when you want to call somebody? Can you just, like, put it out there and it'll find them? Is that what goes on? I mean, we don't really know. I feel like that's kind of the idea.
I love an X-Wing flying over terrain.
Oh, yeah. This is great.
Yeah.
Carson Teva is his name.
Oh, very good. Finally.
There we go. So he is now on the planet. Now, how did he... Oh, yeah, he says how he found it, right?
Yes, he has got a friend hanging out with the Mandalorians. And I remember going, which one of the Mandalorians is it? And it's R5-D4.
Of course it is.
I served with him.
in the rebellion, yeah, of course.
Yeah. R5-D4 has become like the secret hero with the bad motivator.
He's the new R2-D2.
He really is.
He is where he's going to have some personality, I think, going forward. So he arrives, and we know where he is because we see the ship. We see Bo-Katan's ship, and he's coming to ask the Mandalorians for help, right? And again, I just love that he's in this episode so much. It was a lot of fun.
This is also a great scene with the Mandalorians. They've got their guns fixed on them.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not necessarily receptive to somebody from the New Republic. But this is the guy that you want. This is like this is basically the only straight shooter who we can be sure of working with the New Republic.
He just seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he wants to do the right thing. Right? That's why he's working for the New Republic.
There's nothing nefarious about him. He's not. He is what he appears to be.
But he also doesn't. He's not going to like stick to the rules. He will go outside the boundaries of what he can do, like just to get the thing done. Right. So he comes over and he talks to Mando and explains how he found them. And they're like, huh, what, huh? And then, oh yes, it was me, huh? So then he makes his case to them, right? And they have a big discussion over whether or not they should help him.
I was worried that he'd say, "My friend helped me, R5D4," and they'd like kick him or something. And they knock him over, throw him in the water.
Yeah.
All right, so they have the discussion. He knows that Mando will go help his friend.
Yeah, he just kind of leaves and says, "I'll let you know. That's all I'm going to do." And then they have this big kind of fireside chat. And I love that they have like the talking hammer. They have to hold the hammer. It's awesome.
It's a Mandalorian Toastmasters, really. Where they learn. Baby Grogu is learning how to deliver
so
a
they have their
speech.
big discussion and, their argument. Should we help them? Should we not? And by the way, he also offers up, does he offer up the tract of land? No.
Not yet.
Not yet. That doesn't happen until later?
Yeah, later on.
Okay.
Later on.
No, he makes this case. He says he did once offer me a tract of land. So we should go there. Like Mando is making this case now. We could go move there.
Well, this is where he says, yeah, it's true that he used to do this, but now he's a changed man. He's changed, and so that's going to be the hardest part of this sell. And but I also like that the Jon Favreau Mandalorian, he does not go where we think he's going to go.
Right. Very, very. You obviously looks like he's going to say no. We're not going to do this, and then he's yes, we are, and then kind of brings. It's like that classic reverse psychology argument thing where you agree with a person you're essentially supposed to be arguing against,
right?
And he got everybody on his side.
He's usually a naysayer too. It'd be like if Captain Panaka suddenly said,
right.
"You're right."
I agree with that statement.
Right.
Let's do that. Let's go with that plan.
That's right. I totally agree with this Jedi.
That will for sure work. Okay. So then the armorer.
There aren't too many of them.
Yeah. So he makes his case, and then the other guy comes up. Jon Favreau comes up, takes the talking hammer, and makes a good speech, right? And then there's some good
great.
So and I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me. This is a horrible planet they've chosen. There's monsters everywhere that takes them away. And Nevarro is very nice. It looks like a very nice place to live. They're going to offer them some land.
Although there's been problems there in the past, and
the pirates, also, but they can take care of it,
right? But they're also more visible there. But as an interim on the way back to Mandalore, then that's a good move.
I think so. I mean, if they need somewhere to stay.
We do find out, though, that Nevarro is not under the protection of the New Republic, that it's an independent.
Yeah, but I think I think they like that. They don't want to be under the New Republic.
But it also makes them a sitting duck in some ways, but maybe not now. And Bo-Katan has turned into the de facto leader of the
Did they have that conversation yet? Was there the conversation between Bo-Katan and the armor, or is that coming later? Okay.
That comes later.
Sorry. So then they head off to rescue. They're all kind of talking about their plan of where to hit the ship.
We know
somehow they have the schematics of the pirate ship.
We know this is going to be an action-packed thing that we're about to see.
And here comes the shot, the money shot from the trailer that they were waiting for.
Well, it's a good shot. There's no. I don't know if there's any shots left from the trailer.
I think that's it. I think that was the last one. Yeah.
So it took us halfway through the.
Poor R2. That guy's just.
He's stuck.
Yeah, the R2 unit is just.
Yeah, overheated.
Done. They're bugging the waiter, shoving him around.
Yeah, he's an old guy. They're cruel. They're just cruel. And by the way, this was the bar that Werner Herzog was in at the end of season 1.
Oh yes, that's right. Right.
So they're in there. They're just ransacking the place.
They're drunk. Yeah. Stumbling, drinking green stuff.
Yeah, they're
cackling. They're gonna shoot at some
salacious crumbs.
Lizard monkeys. It's funny.
We don't actually see them kill one, which is good. I was worried.
Well, I mean, this series has been dark like that. Okay, so then here comes Mando, and this is cool. Okay, quick. Is that Warwick Davis?
I've heard people suggesting it could be, but I don't think he's in the credits.
I don't say that just because he's small. It sounds like Warwick Davis.
Oh, it may be.
I think it is him doing a voice. It looks his movements look like Warwick Davis. I feel like that is Warwick Davis in that. As that Ugnaught.
Well, we got to look for confirmation.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I like the pirates. This really is. They've done a good job. Like I like his Ugnaught, the Ugnaught pirate who. And the assortment of aliens that are part of this pirate crew makes sense. I love the snub fighters that take off.
Yeah, those are cool
too. Of the ship, those are cool. But then when Mando shows up, this is not hard for him.
No,
like this is like almost nothing. He's not a bit worried about, and he can outspeed them, outgun them, and
I love that shot of with Grogu's looking around with him too. Like they're both kind of looking at the same stuff as they go.
yeah, Grogu doesn't seem to ever be too troubled by any. He's very chill.
Yeah, he's just looking.
Yeah.
Oh, boom! That was a nice move.
oh,
I love that shot. You see
It's
R5
a
poking
great
out.
shot.
That's
great
cool too.
shot through the cockpit and behind the ship. So good. And the pirate ship is a pretty cool design too. Like this is major. I couldn't help but think as I watched this episode, this is a costly episode. This must have been expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this shot, how the hell? Like if you told me they really did drop these Mandalorians out of the ship, I'd believe you. It's such a great shot where they
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Looks
It's
great.
so good.
Yeah.
This really spoils you for other shows, just the top-notch level of... Oh, yeah, we got our little Babu
We
Fricks.
got Babu Fricks watching. Yeah.
And by the way, they've got some good subtitles near the end.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think you can hear them saying it, but it cracks me up. I can't remember what they say, but it's some good stuff. And this is great. I love that. Okay, the Mandos are landing, and I love he's kind of got the Boba Fett skirt on, and it's just like the way it sort of falls as he's landing. It's so good.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to see as far as like a bunch of Mandalorians just kicking ass together. Like we've seen one or two in a fight, but we haven't seen a whole bunch of them fighting together. Well, I guess we did at the end of season 1, but not really. They've got the great battle here. He's fighting the snub fighters.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good. It's an exciting battle inside the atmosphere. The ship is so big, this pirate ship inside the atmosphere. It's kind of interesting to see.
Yep.
And we learned that the pirates they're not great pilots. The main villain, not the main villain, seaweed head guy, but the guy flying.
Yeah.
He chickens out. No, the guy who this guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he chickens out and eventually goes, "See you later."
Oh, yeah,
like
he does. That's right.
He's a total biatch.
Right. And that was the same guy from earlier,
Yeah.
from the first episode, where he was like, "We want to drink in this daycare," and then that was the same asshole.
We'll see him again in the show.
Sure, yeah.
But what a little weasel.
Yeah, he's gone.
He takes off, and now this is great stuff. I was a little worried here, I have to say, when the Mandalorians were boxed in.
Oh, you figure that. They're warning them. Hey, they're over there.
So late, what I guess Salacious
Kowakian
Crumb is
lizard monkey. That's what
yeah.
they call
So
it,
him pointing. I love that. They're over here. They're this way. It's good stuff. Go kill them. They shot at me. So I love this. I love watching the Mandalorian SWAT team in action.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's what
good.
it is. Yeah, it's a SWAT team for sure. They're moving in. They're taking out these pirates. It's not easy. Now, they did make a point of saying you're outnumbered 10-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a lot more pirates there than there are Mandalorians, and they do get boxed in here. So there's a bit of issue. Love that shot. That overhead shot is very cool. Seeing the laser blast come at them from all angles.
Yeah, it's just it's so cool. And I was worried. I thought we were going to see a slaughter until Jon Favreau drops down with his
machine
Gatling gun.
Why doesn't everybody have one of those?
That is crazy. Yeah, and he just lets her rip. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, now they pull out the tricks, like their grappling hooks and their wires and stuff, and they're
right? So this is pure fun watching the Mandalorians. Although we do lose a couple.
I think so.
in
Yeah,
this. I think right around here. So then the bad guys put their
they
laser
get their own
gun.
big gun.
Yeah, it is a big gun. It does do a lot of damage. And so yeah, we lose one. I don't know if they're Mandalorians we know.
I would think not. We don't really know any Mandalorians besides the couple, Jon Favreau and Armorer. Right.
So they take some damage. I mean, maybe we just lost one.
I mean, yeah, could be. One of them took it right in the chest, and that couldn't have tickled. So then we're back to the air battle. So this is kind of cool. Like, it is Star Wars to have like a ground battle and an air battle going on at the same time. That's a very old school Star Wars thing. So I like that.
And it's also fun. I like he's above you. He's below you. Like, he's just so fast that they can't keep up with him.
And it's such a cool
stuff.
Again, it's so cool that they managed to bring this, like, what was previously a lame fighter from the prequels, and made it such a cool, fast, like, dangerous ship.
It's the only ship anybody would like. Give me the collectible, but where is it?
They haven't made it. They haven't made a ship.
I don't know that they have.
Okay.
I haven't seen one, and Oh, and this is a great scene. The armorer does not need a blaster pistol.
She takes them out with her hammer.
She just basically walks in behind them, doesn't even...
She just takes them out with her tools, literally the tools she uses.
And I just love it. I love being able to see that character in battle.
Like, all clear.
Yeah, no blaster required, just a couple of forging tools, and she'll put an end to you, like, no problem.
It's a missile again. This is all great stuff. Mandalorians doing what they do best, and I think this is in the end, it's going to be a great deal for Nevarro, because they will be there to protect the planet now from whatever. And the Mandalorians, I'm sure that there will be lots of stuff to threaten this planet, and the Mandalorians will have fun fighting off all those threats.
Here's where we box in the remaining pirates, and I love when Carl Weathers comes running in, did you notice there's a couple Jawas?
No.
In there with them in the townsfolk. So imagine being captured by a couple Jawas. And by the way, did you see the Mandalorian who jumps off the ship as it's crashing?
No.
If you go back just a bit.
Oh yeah, there.
Like, and he jumps off. It's so cool, but we never find out which Mandalorian that is.
Well, I guess they were like flying, and they just see there.
Look at that. He's riding it like a surfboard.
He jumps off and just shoots it, and it's gone. That's cool.
Oh, so cool.
And this is I feel like he's a pirate Ugnaught. He kind of looks like a pirate with well, he is, but he's got this striped shirt. Like, he really looks like a pirate.
And
he looks like a Smee. He looks like exactly like Smee.
Here's where this little biatch wimps out and takes off. And I like eventually the villain just gets angry with everybody around him and starts throwing them around.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to steer this thing myself.
I'm going to go down with this ship, is what he's saying.
Yeah, you'd think that he would just take off. Like, really, is it worth the trouble?
Yeah, I know. Your ship's on fire. Like, it's...
You got one engine left.
How has this not happened before? That's what I want to know.
Like, the other guy had the right idea. Get out while the getting's good. But no, he just kind of sticks it out, and they blow it up.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, so there's a big... So the ship goes down. This is great. I don't think there's any surviving this.
No.
Like, I'd be shocked if... Nah, there's no way.
No.
This is your dead. It's a giant fireball. Especially if you're made out of seaweed. You're burning.
Well, the dampness might help. Okay, no, everyone's happy. Hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
That's what I love. It's going to be okay. But I don't think you can hear them say it.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's only in the subtitles,
That's
I think.
Funny.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
All right, so now he makes his declaration. He's the High Magistrate. There we go. And they correct him. The droid corrects him, which is hilarious.
Yeah. And he also, and they're going to accept his offer of the free land.
Yep.
Which is great. Now, I was worried here when something happens next when the armorer wants to talk to Bo-Katan. And I was a little worried.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where that was going to go. Because basically, she pulls her aside and says, take off your helmet.
First, I thought that was a trick.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, is it a test? Like, what are you doing? She's going to say, you're out now. Haha.
Yeah, exactly. Now you must go because... But no,
that's not what happened.
Turns out the armor has been thinking about the story that Bo-Katan has told her
about seeing the mythosaur, right? And so she believes that now Bo-Katan is the leader, but that it can be okay to be both. You can take off your helmet if you want to.
But she says she walks both worlds,
right?
But I took that mythosaur to be physically present.
Me too.
So I think it was.
I think it was too.
And I think it will be proven to be.
I think she thinks she saw it in a vision or something like that. She just thinks it was not real. But I think I mean that the armorer thinks that, not Bo-Katan. But even still, it means that she should be the leader, and she can take her helmet off. She's okay with taking her helmet off, I guess. So she does. You've walked both worlds, so she should be the one to unite them, and that does make sense.
They need a PR person, basically, and so...
Well, now she has to go and recruit all the other people that abandoned her, basically. All the hey, I've got some other Mandalorians now. Come and join us.
But I also love we're gonna go retake Mandalore, and will it be the next episode? Do you think?
No.
Oh, I'm so excited.
No. It's got to be a couple more. That'll be the last episode of the season.
Retake Mandalore. I can't wait.
From the Spider guys, who's at Mandalore that they have to worry about?
Well, I mean, basically, it's been decimated, right? So there's all manner of dangers there's all kinds of stuff. Guys. And who knows who else might be there?
Yeah.
We've seen a very limited amount of it. So
then they come back to the Mandalorians, and she's not wearing her helmet, and they're like, "Whoa, what's going on with this?" And then the armorer explains, "Hey, we should accept this. It's okay that she takes her helmet off."
Yeah, it actually occurred to me. Can you imagine what a stunner it would be if they all took their helmets off?
I was wondering. I was almost expecting Mando to. I thought he might.
I thought so too, and I thought and if they all did, our jaws would drop.
Yes, that's
because
right.
at this point we're just don't. And would that really be Jon Favreau under that mask?
I think it would have to be. It would
have to be.
Yeah.
But it's wow. That would be. That just shows you how powerful it could be. The fact that they have their helmets on all the time, if they ever come off, just what a powerful scene that could be.
How impactful that would be. Yeah, but I do think we will see Pedro Pascal's face at some point before the end of the season.
Of course,
at least once a season he has to show it.
It must be done.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by this little add-on at the end of the show. Because I bet you some people shut it off when it faded to black.
Yep, it did look like kind of it was over. But no, we have our Carson, whatever Carson Teva, comes across, and I don't know. Maybe
we'll call him Johnny Carson so we can remember it.
That's gonna be even worse. So he comes across a wrecked Lambda shuttle. Now I didn't understand this.
Well, it's confusing. Well, first of all, let's just give say this is like right out of Alien.
Oh yeah, that's cool. It's very
coming
cool.
out of the darkness
and then like everything's kind of floating in space
There's
like that.
There's been a disaster.
Yeah.
It's scary. There's something. I was worried that our hero of the New Republic was in danger
Me too.
here.
Yeah.
I thought this might be a trap.
Something's in there waiting for him.
And I guess the New Republic, they make it clear it's a New Republic
shuttle,
but it's the old Imperial shuttle.
Right.
So they've commandeered it.
Yeah. So because they've taken over everything, they just started using all the equipment that was there.
Right.
But I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure where this was going. I like the probe. We got R7 launching the little probe thing that flies over there.
It's got like a remote control that maybe
drone.
I was wondering how many droids have that. Like, does R2D2 probably?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's just something they came up with that they thought they could do in a movie.
Yeah.
Right? So that's neat. I like that idea.
So, and this is weird. There's so many possibilities of what the ending of this show means. Where he sees, he's scanning the ship.
We see his body.
You see the dead people? Yeah, it's weird, man. It is very creepy. We established that Moff Gideon was on this ship. He has been, and we find out it's an extraction is what it is.
Yeah, so Moff Gideon has been freed, basically.
Right. And maybe do you think I was actually thinking we might even see it in a flashback at the beginning of the next episode? What happened?
I don't think we're ever going to see it.
Oh, you don't think so? We'll just leave it to the imagination.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's a fake out. I feel like Gideon. It's going to be somebody else besides Gideon. Because it's not enough just to bring back the old villain. They have to ramp it up.
Right. I think. Well, yes, Moff Gideon's alive. He has been extracted. The question
but he reports to Thrawn.
But right. So where there's something else happening here. Also, the Beskar on the wall, and he goes, "You think it's Mandalorians? Maybe it is. Like, I think there's a few potential things that this could be. Like, on one hand, it could be people extracting him who don't want him to talk. It could be Mandalorians who want to exert their own brand of justice on him. They don't want him to go to trial. They want to kill him themselves or put him on trial themselves. It could be we've seen other people have Beskar who aren't Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's where I went. I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be other people who use it.
Aren't Dark Troopers made out of Beskar too?
Something like that, or they had a lot. The Empire had a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
Like they might be using it for something else, right? It might be whatever they've created. They did create those Dark Troopers or whatever they were. Yeah, that could have had some Beskar part of it. I don't know. I mean, we could find out.
And they can fly through space without any
a
problem.
ship. Yep.
So I mean, there's so many It could also be Bo-Katan's old friends she was hanging around with.
Yes, it could be. Yes,
because they would want to bring justice to him. He bombed Mandalorian.
He was also. They might have still been going after the Darksaber or something like that, right?
Sorry, Mandalore. He bombed Mandalore.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a reason why they might want revenge on him.
Yeah.
But it's. I thought the ending was a good head scratcher.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who done it?
For sure
is the ending. So yeah, it's. I don't know where this is going next. We know we'll return to Mandalore. We're gonna take Mandalore back. We're gonna see probably in the next episode where Moff Gideon is. It has to be Thrawn that has some involvement in this because we've established there's more TIE fighters than we thought there'd be. There's something happening that we don't understand.
Yeah.
There's an extraction. There's Beskar used in it. It's and our friend with the New Republic knows that something's shaping up. He even says as much. Something's shaping up here.
Yeah, there's something going on, and
we don't know what it is. And so we're in the same boat. We know something's going on, but we don't know what it is.
Right.
Boy, should be interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah, it feels big. It does feel like a big deal. It feels like this is building towards something major in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
it really does.
And there's an epic team up that will happen at some point. I don't know if it will this season. I really think we had that announcement of the Book of Boba Fett at the end of that last episode of The Mandalorian, and we're all like, "What? We're gonna do a Boba Fett show?" It would, to me, I think Disney understands that this Mandalorian character is popular and the story is popular. I wouldn't be surprised if they save the real money stuff for a movie or something, or some big event kind of show. I think it would blow people's minds. It really would.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I really don't know in terms of popularity how this season is doing. I've kind of
we haven't heard anything like that. No, but I assume it's doing well. I mean, it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, and it's a great story. It's like the most popular Star Wars characters since the original trilogy, probably. So I like that. And we are also, and one thing's really clear here, and that is we are absolutely building into the events of the sequels, of the sequels that nobody really wants to talk about. But and there is a way to do it to make those sequels better.
Yes.
Right? Like there is a way that can happen, including seeing Luke Skywalker commune with the other Jedi Knights who may or may not be around. Right. So I think, I like that we're filling in. I always wanted to see what happens after Return of the Jedi, and that's what this is showing us. It's good. Exactly. I saw some Star Wars fans don't like the idea of the New Republic being kind of in disarray.
Well, of course they're in disarray. They're taking over,
right?
And it's all completely disorganized. Nobody knows what they're doing.
There aren't enough forces.
Everybody's figuring out their job,
right?
Like I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, there's a lot.
They don't know how to run a government. They've been rebels for the last 20 years, right?
Right. But there's, I think some Star Wars fans like it, good and evil.
Yeah.
And the good guys are over here and the evil guys are over here, and we have some of that. But I kind of like the confusion around who's doing what, and who's a double agent and who isn't, and who's just incompetent. Like Tim Meadows looked like he was just overwhelmed.
That's right. He's just not. Yes. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's again a very, very enjoyable show. And I guess next week we'll be recording our podcast live at an event. We've talked about this off air, but I might as well talk about it on the podcast. We're going to be doing a First Fridays event at the studio of G&B Kmichek and Chasing Artwork, which is just down the street. So we'll talk about the next episode of.
When will we be doing that? Is that early in the day or later?
It'll be later in the day.
Later in the day.
7 o'clock or so at night, I guess.
So probably it wouldn't go live till...
Oh, I'll have it up the next... I'll probably hop up around the same time. It'll be that weekend, but it won't be... Like, the next episode you'll hear on this podcast will be in front of an audience, I guess.
Wow.
If there is one. We'll see.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see who shows up. All right. That's going to do it for this episode of the Star Wars Nerds. I'm Dan Vadabonker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the Force hit you on the ass.
Now I am the master.
TK421, you copy? Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.